Welcome to Utgarde Keep. My name is Motif of Horde's Most Wanted, and in this video we're going to be talking about the three bosses that you will encounter in this instance. The first boss that you're going to come in contact with is Prince Keliseth. This is a heavy DPS fight and can be a healing intensive fight if you don't know what to expect. Now we've gone ahead and engaged Keliseth. On the right hand side of the screen, these skeletons are going to spawn. They will generally go directly for your healer, so you want to go ahead and get your tank to pick these guys up. They're non-elites, they're not that big of a deal. Just get your tank on them and then ignore them. You'll also notice that he's casting Frost Tomb on random players. This is by far the hardest part of this fight. Frost Tomb lasts for 20 seconds, does around 8,000 damage, and will prevent you from doing any action in the game. So you're going to want to go ahead and take care of those as quickly as possible. We have a Death Knight dedicated directly to destroying Frost Tombs. Now if they land on your healer, this can be a wipe. If it hits your tank, it's not that big of a deal. So just go ahead and get them taken care of. He will also cast a Shadow Bolt. It does around 2,000 damage, not that big of a deal, can easily be healed through. Once you go ahead and take them down, collect your loot, move on to the next boss. Now we've come to Scarvald and Dalron. There's actually two methods you could use during this encounter. You can either kill them at the same time, or kill one then the other. It doesn't matter which method you decide to use, just make sure your group knows so they are not scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. Dalron has a Shadow Bolt that does about 4,000 to 5,000 damage and will usually attack a random player. Your healer is going to need to know about this and be prepared for it. Scarvald does a good bit of melee damage to your tank, and he will also randomly charge a player, knocking them down and doing about 2,500 damage. Now if you decide that you want to kill one then the other, you're going to actually want to target Dalron first. When he dies, he will actually come back in ghost form. While he's in ghost form, he cannot be attacked, and the tank will not be able to hold aggro. So it's a little bit easier to heal through his Shadow Bolts than it is Scarvald's melee attack. If you kill Scarvald first, his melee will most likely wipe your group, especially if he goes after your healer or any other cloth DPS. After you've killed Scarvald, the ghost form of Dalron will disappear and you're ready to move on to the last boss. The final boss that you'll come in contact with is Ingvar the Plunderer. Ingvar is all about AoE damage, so you want your ranged DPS to stand as far back as possible. He has a roar attack that will do about 2,500 damage. It's got a 60-yard radius, so everybody in your group is going to take this damage. It will also interrupt spell casting and prevent you from casting magic from that school for 8 seconds. He has a smash attack. It's a 3-second cast. Only your melee and your tank are going to have to worry about it. It's not that big of a deal, 1,500 damage. Your healer can easily go through it. However, he does have a pretty hefty melee attack. As you can see here, our Death Knight is actually going to die during this encounter. After the first phase, he's going to be resurrected. You can use this time to go ahead and heal your party if you're the healer. I'm not sure if you leave combat during this phase. I don't think you do, so I think our Death Knight was actually battle rest, but he's going to be healed here. Now, during the second phase, he's got the same attacks for the most part. It does more damage on each of them. His roar attack does 3,500 damage. It also stacks a debuff on you, which causes an extra 10% shadow damage. And all of his AoE are shadow damage. So the tank has now encountered him during the second phase. He's actually going to start pulling him back behind these columns here. And this is because if you're not comfortable with your group or you're taking too much damage, then the columns will actually shield you from the AoE damage. It's not that big of a deal here. Our healer is healing us through the big parts, and we're all pretty well geared. Now we're about ready to burn him down. He is going to spawn an axe, as you see here. It does a good amount of damage depending on how many debuffs that you have stacked on you. I believe the first time this attacked me was around 3,000 damage. It will attack a random player and sit in one spot, so once it attacks you, you can easily move out of range. The second time it attacked me, I had a third debuff on me, or a third stack, and it was doing right around 4,000 to 4,500. So if he stays up too long, then it can easily kill anybody in your group, including your tank. So just be aware of it. I hope this video helps you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.